the effect of a mind of abundance. Our mind, like you know, our mind is a field where decisions are made in few seconds. It's been researched and proven that decisions are made only in 2 seconds. When you make up your mind to do anything, that thing is done only in 2 seconds. And when you make up your mind that you want a change, let's take it for example, you want a change in your lifestyle. In few seconds, you make up your mind. If you do not push through that mindset, that decision is aborted. A lot of problems that we encounter in our world of today, almost 99% of it boils down on us not pushing through the ideas that flow through us. Remember, ideas that flow through us becomes a habit that we try to continuously do to birth, nourish, nurture, and bring to the whole world. It's just a split second, something goes through our mind that should we do this? And if we say yes to that, that means we want to follow through. Can we really follow through? Because what it entails to follow through that decision is bigger than who we are. That is why whatever we want to do, especially which is a laudable program or project that will benefit the whole world and including ourselves and our posterity, has to be written down. When such idea flows through us, we sit down to write it. We write it down. Then we start thinking about how we can nurture it. What does it entail? Our own physical commitment, emotional commitment, our spiritual commitment, our financial commitment, our reorientating ourselves, making sure all the wolves and the lions that would destroy us or destroy that particular decision are driven out of our lives. They are out of our existence. We want to nurture it as if we nurture a pregnancy. Remember, 1 day pregnancy is not seen. Neither is 2 days. Pregnancy can be seen by anybody. And ideally, before anybody can physically see that you are pregnant, may take up to between 4 to 5 months before the pregnancy bumps is visible to the world. So when you have an idea that you want to nurture, it stays within you and on the paper where you have written it. You continuously nurture it. You look after it. You plan and replan and replan. You start acting on it. For that idea to succeed, what do you need to move away? To move yourself away from? To move your thought, your thinking away from? It could be the environment. It could be friends. It could be families. It could be present activities that you have, that you are doing, that will not allow this future plan to come to pass. You have to move yourself away from that. When you move yourself away, then you can focus, concentrate, and start working it out. You need to write it down. I could remember several years ago, after thinking about and having the impression in my mind to do something, either instead of just sitting and eating and working, working, making the money for me, my family only. I was thinking of doing something that will affect my community or will affect the world. I started sharing my thought on media that I have around me, especially Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. Then when I wanted to birth the hospital, it took me few days of continuous writing. I wrote it down. Apart from that, after writing, the present hospital that I'm working, every day in my break, I move around the hospital to see the beauty of that hospital, to see the beauty of the hospital, to see what I can take from that to build my own. What ideas, what picture, what plan existing that is successful from this big and huge, magnificent structure that I'm working with so many employees. The design, the outlook, how I perceive it, how other people are looking at it, appreciating the beauty of the colors. I started writing it down. Then what are the machines, equipment that I need in my own hospital? So I started replicating on writing and writing and writing. I have lots to write. My notebook was full that, okay, in emergency department, what do I need there? Then, after writing everything down, okay, where will I get those resources? I started thinking, being online to check them out. Okay, I can buy this from this company. I can get this from this company. I started writing it down. That is how I started committing myself. Before, normally I'm not the outgoing type every day, but I do go out for things, but I have to remove a lot of people out of my life and things that will not allow that decision I've made to come to fruition, association, other people's input. A lot of people say, oh, this is too gigantic. Are you sure you can push through? Do you think you have the capability to start a hospital? Is it from this meager money that you are earning that you want to do something big? I just put those people aside. I don't discuss with them. They just find me standing there, looking and writing. And I started buying. Being online, went on eBay, went on liquidation, government liquidation website, went on medical machines website in different countries, like in India, in America, in China, started looking for. I started. It's not a question of one day. It was several months. A lot of people do not see me any longer. Even meetings that I normally go to, prayer services I normally go to, because I've taken, a lot of us take a long time in praying without acting. That is why our mindset and orientation must change. You make up your mind, you make a plan, you start executing that plan. You have a short-term goal of daily activities, because your future is now, not next year, 2020, not 2025, but now. What can you do in the next 1 week? What can you do in the next 1 month? What can you do in 3 months? And that is how I continued. Most people, they will say, oh, where will you find Pauline? You find her online, searching, researching how I could get things, looking for where I could find donations, I could find people who can help me out, writing everybody, but still working hard. I'm looking for help, but I'm still working. I'm not just folding my hands and waiting until people help me. I could remember I wrote the organization that I was working with, but I never kept quiet. I was asking people that if they want to change, if my organization want to get rid of all this equipment and they want to get new ones, what do they do with the older ones? And through that, I got a lot of information that I could work with. Your mind is the fertile ground where everything is birthed. Your mind is more important than even the friends around you. Your mind is very important than even the world around you. Because if your mind is structured in a way to focus and move through and push through whatever you're doing, whatever you are going to do, without you looking back, focusing your mind that success must occur, then it is going to be easier for you to succeed in whatever you do. Leaving everything behind. Your mind is a land that is full of manure, organic manure, that you can use to continue that desire of yours without anybody's help. So when you have a plan, the daily plan, the weekly plan, the monthly plan, the quarter of the year plan, the yearly plan, then you see how far you can go. It took me 5 years to buy and buy and buy, procure from all over the world, ship them. I dedicated my life. And that is how success comes to pass. Success is never cheap. It takes everything out of you. Relationship, friendship, even looking after yourself. If you are not careful, if you do not plan well, you will be engrossed in it that you will be devoid of even ordinary drinking and eating. Go and ask the successful people how commitment, total commitment, they are dead to themselves. I was dead to myself. Because everything in my mind is to make sure that hospital succeed. It has everything it needs. And because the hospital is not in Canada, the hospital is in Nigeria, I was even number one thinking of which country would I go and start it. There are so many countries in the developing world that will benefit, that could have benefited from my mindset and my ideology and my inspiration. Okay, which country should I choose? I have the French speaking, English speaking. My first choice was to situate the hospital in Togo, for example. But the language, French, was not my everyday language. Even though I may have interpreters, but how far am I sure that what I want to convey is what the person perceives and what the person is interpreting? I have another country, Namibia, that the people there needed me to come and start the hospital there. Do I know anybody there? What are the logistics that I have to face? What are the problems that I have to face? Do I have the capability to just go into the jungle? And jungle, not because the country is not good, but the place where I do not know anybody to start it? Then I made up my mind to choose a country, which though I've left the country several years ago, but I still know a little bit of the terrain several years ago that are useful for me to start the project. Your mind. Focusing, writing it down, executing it. Every day I tell people, share my notion to people who will hear. I will hear my doctors and nurses, oh, will you love to have some books? I said, yes. and a lot of books were donated to me. Even the hospital donated books to me. My nursing association donated so many books to me. Then, what about machines, equipment? When people start seeing, when they start seeing it, they could see when I, on the auction, medical auction, when I win a bid of a machine, they say, oh, I'm so happy. I tell the world, I just won an incubator, a neonatal incubator. Oh, I just won a big ultrasound machine. And they said, oh, then I could now see that I was not just saying it. I was not just writing it. I have put it into practice to start buying equipment, machines, and medical daily things that they can use. And they start believing in me. They start trusting me. So a lot of things people will give, a lot I bought. I bought a lot and I'm still buying up to now. People who know what I'm doing, people who are doing what I am doing, they open my eyes to organizations that I could get them cheaper. Some people can donate, some people can sell cheaply, and some people are ready to follow me to start the program. Some people want to help humanity, they physically. Even my colleagues on the job, they say, oh, Pauline, I don't have much. I have this $5. I have this $10. I could remember when I won, or I decided to buy a huge printer. A huge printer who has got is a complete printer. It can print, it can photocopy, it can send fax. And somebody just took a card without me knowing, went to the ATM and got some money. And she came back and said, Pauline, add a little bit to this and pay for that thing that you wanted to buy. Then shipping them from America, shipping them from Canada to Nigeria. Can you see? The mind. Focusing, working hard, looking for the best equipment. Some are so expensive I could not buy, but I put them in long-term goals. Some are the things, or some of them I can buy now. I started buying from America, from Germany, from England, from India, all the countries around me. Then came the huge problem. Because when you start anything, there'll be so many problems that you can find. Electrical power. In Canada and America is 120 volts. But in Nigeria, it is 220 volts. So I have to think about buying a step down. So looking for step down of huge capacity. Step down of huge capacity that will work for me in Nigeria. I started looking for. Then I bought. Come and see how happy I am when the plan I have in hand materializes. Like the day I won the incubator, neonatal incubator, I was dancing. I was so happy. Then the first time what I shipped to Nigeria, when it got through, when it was cleared, when I had to transport it, where will I store them in? That's another challenge. But if you look at the challenges, they were huge. In terms of manpower, they were huge. In terms of financial commitment, they were huge. In terms of safety, they were huge. I had to employ security 24/7, paid security to watch all the machines and equipment which were stored in a friend of mine gave me a huge apartment with so many rooms to store them. So I had to store them there, get somebody to be there 24/7 to watch them, not for 1 month, for over 2 years. Before I made up my mind to find a way to go and start the hospital. Even starting the hospital, getting to the country, getting manpower, telling the world about it. The challenges on ground, they were huge. I thought I cannot penetrate through them. But lo and behold, I passed through them. I broke those chains. Why? 70% of Nigerians don't go to hospitals because they've lost their hope in hospital. There are no doctors, there are no nurses there. A lot of brain drain, like me. I was a brain drain to Nigeria. I left to come to the outside world since 1991. And because of the government ideas about the health of the populace, they were not putting infrastructures on ground. The buildings were there, no equipment, no medications. That tons and tons of people coming to hospital, they have to buy and go and buy. They were so huge, they spent so many hours in hospital. They feel so bad about it, they are no more interested in going to hospital and stay there. So they are not putting through the idea. So they are looking for private hospitals to go to. And so many doctors, because they work in hospitals, but they don't have everything they need to help humanity. So they decided to go and set up their own private hospitals. Then what happened? There was the birthing of quacks, untrained manpower, rendering medical service to the population of Nigerians. So 70% of them don't come to hospital. Even when you tell them, we go around to do medical services, outreaches, to tell them that we can help you on a better note, with better facility, better equipment, better end result. You hear them saying it, that is only death that can bring them to the hospital. The mind. So I had to battle with that. They can't afford to pay for the services. Can I afford to pay for everything? No. I can't afford to pay for all the manpower and every nitty-gritty that that's expected to make sure that hospital succeed. They have to chip in. The little amount that they want to chip in, they do not have. How many people will walk in with babies, children almost dying, that you just need to revive for humanity's sake? How many free medical services am I supposed to render? A lot I had to. How many? A lot of people. How many surgeries will I do that they do not have, they cannot afford to pay a dime? And that one will prolong their life, but will drain the hospital from the little I had when I started. The challenges. How many medical personnel did I employ? They were just sitting down. They do not know how to encourage people to come to the hospital to enjoy the facility, because they told me they never had any business education in their mind. But they're employed. And because they know I came from Canada, they know I have to pay them. Either they work or they don't work. How many medical personnel did I employ that only use the hospital as just a library for them to move themselves higher and travel out of Nigeria? Challenges. But in my mind, I wanted the hospital to succeed. So I go back to work and pay their salaries and continue maintaining the hospital? Because it's a hospital, you must have a medical doctor on ground, qualified nurses on ground, infrastructures on ground. Because you do not know when somebody who needs that facility, that care for the life to survive will walk in. The mindset, my mind, the mind that I have to succeed. Those are some of the challenges, but I had to overlook that. Then evaluating what we're doing. What are we doing wrong? How can we do it better? How can we encourage people to come? Free medical service almost every day. Free medical outreaches through the landlords of houses around us, even far away. Going on the air, giving health education. It took a lot. Your mind is the big country or even a nation or a world where an idea is birthed, nurtured, and you start planning it. Then you start executing it continuously, day in, day out, even up till now. That is why you are hearing me. It is true what I did several years ago, not only in the hospital. What about when I started a school? What about other businesses that I've started? And what about the one I've just started now, the online business? It is through my mind that I started seeking, what will I do when I grow older? When I'm not strong enough to run around as I am able to, as I now. That I started researching online until I got the good company that renders good education about online businesses, which I decided to join, and which I'm advocating to help you, to tell you about, that you too, you can get yourself out of the 9-to-5 race, and you can travel and continue working in any area of the world, in as much as you have what you need to do it, which is what? A medium of talking through or checking or selling your product or teaching your people. You don't need a physical classroom any longer. Everything is on air, online. That's why I'm encouraging you, as you listen and watch my podcast, make sure you click the button. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you listen to the end of the teaching. Write those things down, and you start doing them and telling the world about it. Share, share, share. Evaluate the existence of your humanity. Are you doing the right thing? How far have you gone between yesterday and today? How far will you go between now and tomorrow? How far will you have gone in the next 1 week? What are the big challenges coming your way? Because you have to be challenged. Stop the prayer that you will not have problems. You are going to have situations. How will you solve them? That is the best thing for you to start looking for. Developing world, destroy fear out of you. Move away from pastors and ministers who minister fear into you, because they are holding you bound like a slave. They don't want you to go and bring out the good things that are in you. You are full and capable of success in every endeavor in your life. You will not wait for years. See, it's not having the PhD that matters. It's what you do with the master's, the first degree, second degree, and no degree at all. A lot of things doesn't need any degree. It needs you. It is you that is needed. Not the paper degree that you put in your wardrobe. The education you have that you materialize, you put it on paper, you start working with it, is what is needed. The 7.7 billion people, they still need you. Why? Let's say it was 7.7 2 seconds ago. That population has increased. Even though a lot of people have died within last 1 minute, and now a lot of people are born into the world too. They are waiting. They are waiting so hard to hear from you. This is Pauline Major, encouraging you, telling you that success is yours, that you are full of ingenuity, that you are deployed into the world to showcase the success within you, to showcase what you have in yourself that the world needs, to move the world from one point to the other. Your success is not enviable when it's not seen. Your success is not sought for when it's not known. Let the world know who you are. You can make it. It's not your intonation that disturbs you. No, there are millions of people who will understand your English intonation. There's still billions of people who will understand your accent. Either color, green, purple, or yellow, they are not your stumbling block. It is you, your mind. So work on your mind. Don't wait until 2020. Let's start today. After listening to this podcast, after listening to this, reading the write-up, after watching the video, go out and start doing something. I started a school with ordinary $5. I started the hospital, Pauline Canadian Hospital, with ordinary $10. I used the $10 to buy on eBay. Bought a thermometer, the digital thermometer, bought the mask. I bought 5, I bought 10. That is how I started. So that is how you too will start, with good plan that is enviable. And before you know it, the whole place is full. You can do it. You can succeed. Don't let anybody, born of a woman, stop you from growing higher or going higher, from expanding, from enlarging, from beautifying, from effecting, from teaching. Don't let anybody, born of a woman, and do not let the challenges that affect you stop you from moving, because success is yours. Pauline Major Lifestyle has so much of education to give to you. Click on the button. Learn more. I'll send you free videos that will help you, that will open your eyes of understanding. When you get onto paulinemajorlifestyle.com, access it and request for free videos. They are free. And a wider education will be given to you to move your life from poverty, not only financial, of your mind, of your thought, and put you on the citadel of beauty where you can say, yes, you have arrived to affect your generation for good. Thank you for watching. Please share, share, share. We need to reach the whole world. Continue to share. Maybe one person's life can change. Love you. This is Pauline Major.